Well, look who's back! Look at that face over there, all dressed up in his purple. That's
No
Logan.
comments.
I'm Craig. We are back in action. Life has happened to both of us, and we're not sure where this podcast is going to go from here, but we are going to try our best to continue to do this now that Illinois is back in action. But there's still some questions. But we're back today. Basketball starts this week. We are, 4 days away? Is that right? I don't even know when the first Illinois game is.
The
I'm
third.
being completely honest.
It's Monday.
Yeah, so
like
4 days. It's Friday morning. No, it's not Friday morning right now, but when you're hearing this, it will be Friday. But yeah, we're back. I know we didn't do anything over the summer. We've only done one thing since Illinois basketball ended, but like I said, things happen. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But Logan, it's the first time I've seen you since then. We honestly don't talk as much as we used to.
It's true.
But
This is true.
there you are. How's it going?
It's going very well, Craig. It's going very well. It's great to see your face and hear your voice. Yes, we have exchanged some texts here and there, but yeah, we both
I don't get the once a week. Is Ben Hummercast ever going to hit a shot text anymore?
Well, that will come again starting in a week. But I'm excited to hop on here. I know we've talked about it through the fall, the football season, but schedules have just not been easy for either of us. So I'm happy to do this. Happy to hop on here and chat stuff. So let's get into this.
Yeah. So he alluded to it. Obviously, we're gonna try and keep this thing going. It's we usually get in a pretty good routine. During the fall, we do once a week a show kind of like this, and then basketball we try and do every post-game show. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's probably not going to happen this year. Post-game shows are not going to be as consistent as they have been, but we will try and get on here and give some thoughts. I know there are a handful of you that consume this regularly, and so we do like to keep you guys satisfied, but we can't make any guarantees on where this podcast is going to go this year because, like Logan said, I've got a kid now, things going on. He is, I believe, had a career change is the only change I know of for him, but it's been a pretty hectic one for him. So we're going to do our best, but we can't make any promises where this is going to go this year. But we'll do what we can. And honestly, I don't know what the viewers are going to think about this, but we're going to start with basketball. I know Illinois is in the midst of a decent football season, but at this point, they're 8 games in. They've only got 4 left. I think we kind of know what this season is at this point. It's not going to be a playoff season. I know there were some hopes, but didn't quite live up to those. I think it's still going to be a really good season, and we will talk about it a little bit later. And it's been fun to watch this season, but with basketball being 4 days away, that's kind of what this show was based around. Obviously, we've done so many post games and talked about basketball so much. So we're just going to start with that and end with basketball. So there were 2 exhibition games, one exhibition game, 1 secret scrimmage, whatever. Illinois did beat Illinois State in the exhibition game at the State Farm Center and then lost to Florida in the secret scrimmage that we all know how it went. So it's not all that secret. I know you we did watch. You asked we got to log in and you did watch. What are your initial takeaways from watching that and what you've heard from the secret scrimmage? Initial thoughts about this team, about anything you've heard overall, and then we'll get into specific players after that.
I think I watched the first definitely half of the exhibition game. I think there was a point where I eventually turned it off. Without getting into specifics about players, I think my biggest concern about this team has been and will be the depth. I think this team has a lot of talent at the top. The question to me now, obviously some of these things are starting to get answered already. But my concern has been the depth, especially after you lose Ty Rodgers in the offseason. I wasn't sure how the freshmen were going to pan out. But things seem to be trending in a positive direction for the freshmen in particular. So I think that those concerns I had are not quite as obvious to me now. I mean, I was impressed with what I saw in the exhibition. Granted, it was an exhibition. Several key players on both sides were not playing, but I was pretty impressed with a couple of players in particular that I'm really excited to watch play this year. So I think once everybody gets healthy, now that everybody's eligible, I think I'm feeling a little better about where this team could go.
Yeah. Everybody is eligible. Before we talk about that, I'll get into. I guess I don't need to. It's been a week ago, more than a week ago. We don't need to talk specifics about Illinois State, but Mihailo Petrovic is now eligible. He did not play in the exhibition. He was nursing the hamstring. I also don't know if he was eligible, if that mattered. I don't know. But he did not play. Andrei Stojakovic did not play. Ty Rogers obviously did not play. Am I missing anybody else?
Tommy didn't play.
Tommy didn't play. Tomislav did not play. He had tonsillitis, I think. Didn't he have his tonsils taken out?
He had his tonsils taken out right before media day.
Yeah. So he didn't play either. So four players did not play. I'm still not sure about Ty Rogers.
I don't think anybody is.
I know they've been so cagey about it. It doesn't seem like an ACL because he is not in a brace. He's walking around. So I don't know that anyone outside of that building knows the severity of Ty Rogers.
I would venture
at this point, if he's back by January or even by Valentine's Day, I would love it.
That's what I was going to say. I would venture to guess the way they're handling this is that they probably think there's a decent chance Ty is back sometime in the spring semester.
Yeah.
Don't know that that's January. Don't know that that's February. And at that point, honestly, I don't know, what it is. But I just by the way they're handling it, I'm just kind of gathering that there is hope at minimum that Ty could join this team on the court sometime after Christmas. Don't know that. Obviously, nobody does. But that's just kind of how I've taken it based on the things that they've said and how they've handled it.
Yeah, I would agree, and I would be more than happy with that. So I think let's start with the returners first. You've got Kylan, you've got Tommy, you've got Ben, Jake Davis, Ty Rogers is in there, and then Jason Jaxtis. I don't know if I ever say his name right.
Jaxtis, I believe.
Jaxtis. So those are the returners. It's a good chunk of returners. I think Kylan Boswell could be, I don't want to call him an X factor because he's going to be one of the best players, but I'm just so comfortable with him running the show.
Yeah.
I talked to one of my buddies about it back home this past weekend about how much I wanted him out of high school. And I don't even think at that point, I realized he was from here. I just knew we were top two. It was us and Arizona. And he picked Arizona. I have one of my best friends lived in Arizona for the first 5 or 6 years of his life before he moved to Peatonville. So he's an Arizona fan. And I was texting with him the day he committed about how upset I was and I really wanted him. And now that he's been here for 2 years, he's got that second year leap that the transfers go through. I think CBS did a great article about people that are candidates for that second year transfer leap, and he was on there. I'm just so comfortable with him running the offense. He's a big body that gets to the rim. I hope he improved his shot making at the rim because that's a drawback of his. Are you in the same boat as me as far as Kylan goes running the show?
Yeah, no, he is a 4-year. He has the most experience on this team at the high major level, and he's still only 20 years old. It's incredible how young he actually is. But yeah, I mean, just the returners as a whole, that trio of Kylan, Tommy, and Ben. I know how people feel about Ben Hammerkaus, but having a player like that in this world of transfer portal, NIL, revenue sharing, all that stuff, to have a trio of returning starters comeback from a tournament team, from a team that finished in, top whatever of the Big Ten. Like, that's a great place to start. That's an excellent jumping off point. Kylan Boswell, I trust with the keys. You're not handing the keys to a freshman like they have in the past. Whether or not Kylan's a point guard or a shooting guard, I don't care. He's running the offense. He's going to be the main initiator out there. I agree with you. I think that there are some shooting related things that I hope have improved on. He was a much better 3-point shooter at Arizona than he was in his first year in Champaign. But that tends to happen with first year transfers. Same with Ben Hummerkaus. But yes, I trust Kylan to run this team. This is Kylan's team. Tommy may be the draft pick and the all conference candidate, all those things. I mean, he's probably the leader when it comes to those things, but this is Kylan Boswell's team and everyone knows it. And I love the fact that Illinois has a 4-year high major guard running the show. It makes me feel so much better going into this season than what we have had at times in the past.
Yeah. And then down low, I feel just the same about Tommy. I mean, I've seen a bunch of lists. He is one of the top 10 players in the Big Ten. I saw someone, I think it was Andy Katz, left him off of a top 10 list that I couldn't believe. But then I realized who it was, and I just didn't put any stock in it. I just love his game, and I expect a double-double from him every night.
Yeah.
So with him and Kylan kind of running the show, I think that was the main focus for Brad this offseason. He kept talking about retention, and I think it was these two that were his main focus.
Getting the two of them back was bigger than any transfer you're going to bring in, any international recruit you're going to land. You return two leaders, 2 starters, 2 all-conference candidates to this team. And I love Tommy's game. Just need Tommy to stay healthy. Hopefully the procedure he had a few weeks ago will help the medical things that he went through at least part of the season last year. So keeping him healthy will be very key. And we're not ready to jump quite into the new guys yet, but just having 2 of them on the court, one of them on the court at all times. I know, Z's probably not as good as Tommy is, and that's fine, but like having even a slighter version of Tommy on the court at all times is a huge factor. So very excited to see what Tommy and Kylan can kind of do running this team. Because I think that's got to be outside of Purdue, probably the best 1-2 punch in the conference, I'd have to think. I mean, maybe you can make a case for like UCLA. I mean, there's others out there, but it's a pretty good punch, that Kylan and Tommy.
What is Michigan's backcourt, front court?
They don't have a backcourt. They're starting all forwards. I don't know.
Yeah.
They have a couple of the best post players. It's UCLA. It would be Donovan Dent and whatever the other kid that lit us up last year would be the answer, probably Bilodeau or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That may be the other answer, but still, I mean, just that pair. I love having that pair back.
Michigan has Elliot Cadeau, Namari Burnett. Those are decent. Roddy Gale.
Sure.
I believe.
Yeah, Michigan's going to be good. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then they pair them with Mara Johnson, Yaxel Lindenborg, and Cheddar's still there somehow. Jesus, he's been there forever. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but no, I get you. I get you there. Next, let's talk about old Benjamin. Ben Hummerkaus back for, is this technically a 6th year? Or is this his 5th?
I honestly don't know. That's a great question. I don't know how many years of
Well,
college
it's
basketball
his third year in Division One, second year at
I think
Illinois.
it's his fifth year.
I think it's his fifth. I think he had 2 NAIA, jumped to Evansville, and now 2 here. I've been workshopping it, and I don't think I'm gonna come out and say it. But
Go ahead, unleash your take.
I also think it's a kind of a common cliche, but I think Ben's going to be really good this year. I don't want to call him I don't want to say he's going to be 15 a night, 50% from 3 type, but it can only improve, right? Like everyone was so disappointed in him last year. It can only get better.
This will be his 6th season.
It will. So he
played 3 years at whatever Huntington or whatever school it was, and then 1 at Evansville. Okay. This will be his 2nd in Illinois. Okay. First off, was very happy Ben Hummerkaus came back.
Yeah.
I understand he was a controversial player. I am not going to point fingers at anybody in particular, but I blame the media for that. People had expectations for Ben Hummerkaus that were just not realistic. That's just how it was. I think people saw what happened with Marcus Damask and thought, oh, it's going to be Marcus Damask again. No, Marcus Damask was a 3 or 4 year all-conference player in the Valley.
Ben Hummerkaus, who you're talking about, do they have a drink named after them?
Well, he was the one that said compared him to
Damask.
No, it wasn't Damask. It wasn't Damask. It was the kid from Tennessee. Dalton Connect. That's who John Fanta compared him to. It was Dalton Connect. No, I think the expectations for Ben Hummerkaus were too high. And it wasn't just a national thing. There were local people that had high hopes for him. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he shouldn't have been better player than he was, but that's not who Ben Hummerkaus was.
Yeah.
I mean, he did not shoot as well as I think he would have liked. I think that's the biggest thing. And he wasn't making shots from 3, he wasn't doing much else. So I get it. I understand the frustrations, especially when he was starting over Will Riley and whatever the case is. I think, to your point, I think Ben Hummerkaus can be in a much better situation this year. Whether that's in a starting role or coming off the bench, I do not care. I think he is a valuable player to have. He is 25 years old. He's in his 6th season of college basketball, 2nd at the high major level, 3rd in Division I. He is a 3-point shooter who we know can do other things. He spaces the floor really well. I just like having him. I like having him on the team. And I know people are going to hear this and be like, oh, I'm already sick of him. Get over it. He's an experienced player that you want when you have a lot of unproven international players. So I'm happy that he's back. And I'm excited for what he can do. I think you're right. I think he is due for a nice 2nd season like a lot of people have taken. As you talked about with Kylan, I think he's also one of those guys that in that 2nd year can really take a jump up. Is he going to be an all-conference player? No. The expectations were just totally wrong on that last year. He's not that kind of player at this level. But can he be a valuable 5th, 6th guy? Yeah, absolutely he can. So that's what I'm expecting from him. I don't care if he starts. I don't care if he comes off the bench. However you want to sort out the 4 spot, the 3 spot, however, I don't care. He's going to play. He's going to play 15 to 20 minutes a game. He's going to have nights where he shoots a cover off the basketball. He's going to have nights where he looks like crap and he doesn't get a rebound and everybody's going to be pissed off. But I think he's going to have a better season than what he did last year because the expectations are going to be so much lower for him. I'm done.
No,
I see the floor.
I agree. I'm trying to think of who was the Peyton Sanford, the guy from Iowa.
Yeah.
Shot 34% from 3 last year.
Yeah.
Ben Hummerkaus, Illinois. Shot 34% from three last year.
He was Illinois' best shooter.
He was Illinois outside of Tommy. He was the best 3-point shooter, and Tommy was 35.7. Ben was 34.4.
The problem with Ben is that the expectations were too high, and that he wasn't a very good rebounder. Like that's the problem. He was playing the 4 and was sometimes useless when he wasn't hitting shots. So if he can do a little bit more in that regard, I think he will be perfectly fine.
Which I did see. I think it was Jeremy said the reports are that he struggled against Florida with their bigs, their physicality. Yeah. So that could be a knock on him. A couple other guys are returners. Jake Davis, he's another role guy that I love having on the team.
Absolutely.
I think he knows the role, and I think he's going to play the role very well. He's going to come in, play hard, make shots, and do the right thing. And then I don't know what to expect from Jason Jaxtis. I'm going to struggle with that until he plays consistent minutes and I hear the announcers say his name. I wouldn't expect to see him.
No.
But by all accounts, he has improved and is someone that they do think can contribute the next couple of years. But this year, I don't expect to see anything from him.
No, I mean, a lot of things can't happen in the next however many months, but like Illinois has the deepest and most talented front court you're probably going to find. I mean, the Ivisic brothers and Ben and Merkovich, like that's a pretty good foursome. I don't think Jason Jaxtis will be needed to do too much unless foul trouble or injuries become a real problem. Yeah. But I think he will be fine in a, keep developing. Let's see what you can do next year type of thing.
Yeah. Newcomers, we'll start with Stojakovic. Andrei Stojakovic, son of Sacramento Kings, Memphis Grizzlies, I believe. Great. Did he play for Memphis? Peja was in his prime back when I was actually watching the NBA when I was 9 to 15 years old. He comes in. He was a 17.9 point scorer at Cal last year after spending a year at Stanford. So he leaves the ACC, the West Coast, comes to Illinois. 17.9, 4.7 rebounds, 1.8 assists, shot 42% from the field, 32-ish% from three. Just looking at his year-over-year stats, he improved his free throw percentage a lot. His second year, he shot 53% his freshman year. He shot 82% last year, so that's good to have. He has been hurt, so he has not played in the exhibition or the secret scrimmage. And he was the offseason, I think Piper kept calling him the A1 target. They seemed like they knew that he was going to hit the portal, and when he did hit the portal, they jumped on him. There were a couple shaky moments where we weren't sure where he was gonna land, but he did come to Illinois and provides a wing that I think pairs pretty well with this team.
Yeah.
How do you think he compares to Will Riley last year? Is it a good comparison? Are they completely different people? Because at the end of the year, it was the Will Riley show a couple times. I don't think he's going to have to do that, but do you think they're the same skill set, or are we getting something different here?
I think there's similar skill sets. I think Will Riley is a more talented player, but obviously with Will Riley, you were getting an 18, 19-year-old. With Stojakovic, you're getting somebody that already has 2 years of high major experience. So I think, maybe I'm too traditional or whatever. I understand freshmen are really talented sometimes, but like, give me the experienced guy. Like, just give me the experience. And I also I love the fact that Stojakovic is coming to this team. His last 2 stops, he has been the guy. He has been the focal point of an offense.
Yep.
And not that he will not be the guy for chunks of this season, but he does not have to be that guy every single night. In fact, I think going into the season, you're probably already penciling him in as the number 2 guy, probably behind Tommy. And maybe some nights he might even be behind Kylan. So I love the fact that you're getting a guy that can do that, can light you up, can put up 20 plus points in a game, but also doesn't have to be that. I just think that does so many good things for your team. So to answer your question, again, he may not be as talented as Will Riley. I don't know that he's a first round NBA draft pick this coming season. Maybe he is. I mean, I haven't watched a ton of ACC basketball, especially with Cal and Stanford. I'm not staying up to watch that.
Yeah.
But I think that he is the perfect type of addition for what this team is, what this team needed. And I would much rather have a third year, 20 whatever year old than another, 5-star freshman that it's going to take him several months to really kind of get flowing and all that stuff.
Yeah. Who was the last McDonald's All-American to play for Illinois? Doesn't have to be out of high school. It could be a transfer. Last McDonald's All-American to play for the University of Illinois.
Jeremy Richmond.
Correct. 2010.
Has it really been that long?
Yep.
God, it's so weird.
Not a single McDonald's All-American has put on an Illinois jersey since Jeremy Richmond. I guess he was the 2010-2011 Illini season. Yeah. The thing with Andre, by the way, Peja did not play for Memphis. I was confused.
That sounded right when you said it. Where
Kings,
else did he play?
Pacers, Hornets, Raptors, and Mavericks. I was thinking of Mavericks is what I was thinking of.
I mean, all those stops were irrelevant in my mind, I guess. I only really think about the Kings.
He was with the Kings for a long time. Very short stint with the Pacers.
I was a
Hornets for a couple seasons.
I was a Laker bandwagon fan in those early 2000s teams, so I hated the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
So I hated that team
Doug
with Peja, Doug, and Vlade and Weber, Mike Bibby. Yeah, hated that team.
Yep. That pairs with what I was about to say. I just hope Illinois fans don't expect Andre to play like Peja.
No, he's not Peja.
Because it's like a lot of times I feel like people put the son into the same bucket as the father, and this is not the case. He's not a shooter like Peja. Peja was stroking it all game long. Andre doesn't shoot the ball great by all accounts, but he's smart, gets to the ball, gets to where he wants to go, and hits the shot that he wants to hit. So that's kind of where I hope Illinois fans understand that you're not getting Peja Stojakovic. This guy is a different kind of player, and I'm excited to see him. I hope he gets healthy soon. Don't need him too soon, but I hope they have him by that Texas Tech game because he'll need to contribute for that one. Where'd my roster go? I lost my roster. Let's go to the other transfer before we hit the freshman. Zvonimir Ivisic. I think this one was what?
I want to point out that I called this. I don't know that we've done a show since then.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I feel like this one was the most obvious of all transfers this offseason.
We talked about it on this show.
Okay, I don't remember. Let me know. I'll pull it up.
I don't remember what show it was. I'd have to go back and find it. But I said to you that I was just watching an Arkansas team that had a particular player who I know at times this season was getting significant minutes. And now I'm watching him in this tournament. He's not touching the floor. Like, I'm not going to – I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember saying that on this very show. I don't know that we've had a show since then, so I just wanted to make sure I pat myself on the back. It was incredibly obvious. When things weren't working out for him and Cal, like, come play with your brother. Come play with O. Like, it made all the sense in the world. So I guess my fear with Z is, and I'm sure I don't know why I have this fear at this point. It's October 30th, but like I just hope that like it wasn't like pitched as you're going to play with your brother a lot, because that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I'm sure they will share the floor for a few minutes, probably most games, but no more than maybe 2 to 3 minutes. I could see them.
I think it'll be more than that. I think they're playing
2 to 3 minutes a half.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. A half. Yeah, I mean, I think they will see the floor together, but it will not be a ton. They're not going to be starting together. I mean, maybe you could have had those conversations at one point, but I mean, I think you realize like having one of them on the floor at all times is that's a good thing to have. And I know Z is not quite the player Tommy is, but like that's a good backup five. And we saw what he did against Illinois State. Again, it's Illinois State. They don't have much for front court, whatever, but like he can shoot it, man. Like he could do a lot of things just as good as his brother can. So I love the addition. I love having both of them on this team. I think they're gonna be great when they're on the floor together. But I just love the fact that when Tommy's off the court, that his brother is there, and you can do a lot of things with either of them. So, and if something happens with Tommy, if he goes down for whatever reason, you still have a 7-foot Ivisic on the court most of the time. So,
who is a better shooter than Tommy? We just mentioned Tommy was the best 3-point shooter Illinois had last year.
Yeah.
And both seasons, Big Z has shot 37% from three.
Yeah.
He was 47 of 125 from three last year. He took 125 threes last year at Arkansas. For comparison, Illinois' 3-point attempts, I guess the whole starting five took more than that. I thought that was a high number, but everyone took more than 143s last year for Illinois.
Yeah, they shot way too much.
But 37% for a 7'2" guy from three it's hard to guard.
Yeah.
If you're making those, if he can make 3 threes a night, that's 9 points right there. He'll grab 5 or 6 boards, block a couple shots in 17 minutes, 20 minutes. I mean, that's a fantastic backup five.
Yeah.
That's starting numbers.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm inflating that a little bit, but I don't think that's out of the realm for him.
No,
and I do think Z and Tommy will be on the floor more than people expect. Now, where do those minutes come from, I guess, is the question. But I think they will.
Maybe. You might be right. I think it'll just depend on who's healthy and all those things. But, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will, but I don't know that it'll be more than 2 to 3, 4 minutes a half. I mean, I don't see it being much more than that, but who knows? I guess we'll see.
I think coming into this preseason, Petrovic would have been the most exciting Balkan freshman.
Yeah.
That has shifted.
It has.
David Mirkovic has lit this Illinois team on fire. The 2 exhibition games. It had 17 against, I think both games he had 17 points. I think. Don't quote me on that. I didn't expect that from him. He played on, what was the national thing that he did? The Nike Hoop Summit, maybe?
Could have been. Yeah, I remember.
I think he did the Nike Hoop Summit over the summer, and one of their games was on TV, and I watched a little bit, and I was like, I think he needs some work. He's a little heavy-footed. The way he runs, he kind of throws his feet on the ground. Made a couple plays, but I was like, I don't think he'll be like a starting five. He'll be a fringe rotation guy. This dude's pushing for a starting spot.
Yeah.
He has lit the world on fire. I think I don't know a good comparison for him. I'm all about the comparisons right now, and I don't know who it is, but I just think his motor is so turned up. He's going to go after every rebound. He's going to go after every loose ball, and he's so good around the rim and strong with the ball. This kid's going to be a contributor from the get-go, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. He was really impressive to watch in that Illinois State game.
Yeah.
Again, granted, Illinois State is it's a very good mid-major team, but they also did not have their starting 4 either. So,
true.
But I will say that I think he's going to beat the crap out of some of these smaller front courts.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to run into some danger.
Mm-hmm.
Remember my
mid-major All-American?
Mid-major All-American, midweek starter. That whole thing, who do you throw against Illinois State? You throw that guy that's going to light him up. But if you throw him against Michigan and on a Saturday, nothing.
I was having that exact same conversation with someone earlier today because did you see what Dre Gibbs Lawhorn did the other night?
No.
He put up 31 points and 7 assists for UNLV.
Yeah.
And we had that same conversation. I said Pods 2.0. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But then it turned into, he was the typical put up 15 or 19 points against Eastern Illinois and then not score the rest of the Big Ten season.
I think Markovich is going to be a fan favorite. These fans are going to love him. He's going to explode some games. I think the kid is obviously talented. He can do a lot of things with the basketball. He does a lot of things similarly to what Tommy can. I think you can run the ball through him. He obviously can, has the ability. He's grew up playing the guard position. So clearly he can run the floor and do some of those things. He's not the best shooter, but I think you're going to see a lot of great things from him. But again, I think that's why I still like having Ben Hummerkaus. I think the two of them, similar to how Tommy and Z can kind of complement each other when they're not on the court. I think Ben and Markovich can kind of, one of them is going to be on the court most of the time. And I think that they kind of do some things similarly and do some things differently. You can change some things up. But he's going to be an absolute energizer bunny. I think both him and Petrovic are going to be that type of, energy guys that are going to give you some things. And I say that about Petrovic. I haven't actually watched him play a single second of basketball.
That's what I was going to say. He's
just like from what I've heard. But yeah, no, I loved watching that kid play in that Illinois State game, and I could not wait to see him again on Monday. I did not expect that. He came out of nowhere. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you remember, but that was that there was nothing. There was not there was no smoke, none. Yeah. That just happened one day that Illinois was getting this kid, and so we're like, who? So yeah, I was super impressed just in the one game I've seen, and obviously we've heard the numbers from the Florida scrimmage. But yeah, very excited to watch him.
Let's see if he ever got oh yeah, he got a 94 composite on 24/7, 138th player nationally. So a lot of hype there, especially now after we've seen him play a couple times. The other one is Mihailo Petrovic. Again, Logan just said it. Haven't seen any of him. He only played 2 minutes against Florida, did not play against Illinois State. But he is a pass-first guard, runs the offense well. I think he averaged 8 assists in the Balkan League that he was in last year. He is 22 years old, was just ruled eligible within the last week as a sophomore. So he has 3 years of eligibility, which I think was a shocker. I think they were expecting 2, but he got 3, which is the same as Tommy got last year. I don't know what else to add to that other than I think, as we've said with every single player so far, I think it pairs well with this team. I feel like Brad did a really good job of getting what they need for this team. He's 22 years old, but the question always is, how do those international guys come over and adapt? I did see, I don't know if it was Werner or Piper before he left, Illini Inquirer say that the language barrier is a little tougher for him than it has been for Ivisic or for KJ. His English isn't as good, so they're working through that, but he's been here for a month or two now. Hopefully that's improving, but I'm excited to see him just because he's older and he's more of a pass-first guy.
I have seen and heard the phrase MVP candidate so many times in regards to him. Yes. Every time he's described in anything that's written, anything that's spoken about Mihailo Petrovic, it is MVP candidate of the Adriatic League. Great. Congratulations. I think that the learning curve will be a little more than I think people were hoping for. And I think obviously injuries have played a factor, and his later rivals played a factor. So I don't know that he's going to be as impactful, especially early on in this season. I mean, I think originally it was like, oh, that's your starting point guard, no question. That's not really the case now. I don't think there's much expectation that he starts at all to start this season. But again, as you said, just like with Ben Hummerkaus and just like with Stojakovic, I like having the experience.
Yeah.
Yes, it hasn't been in the NCAA Division I, but like he's playing at a high level of basketball over there. So I love the addition, at least the idea of the addition. I can't wait to actually see it with my own eyes. But I think, especially long term in a season or two, who knows how long he actually is here, but I think he would be a great piece to have moving forward for this team. But I think this goes back to the fact that you also just really love having Kylan Boswell as somebody that, whether you call him a point guard, a shooting guard, whatever, he's somebody you can trust to run the offense. So if it does take Petrovic a little while to get acclimated, you have somebody else that you're confident with that can be your point guard.
Yep. Petrovic's wearing number 77 for Illinois. That'll be take some getting used to. I know Will wore 7 last year. He wears our first non-traditional number. But 77 is just weird to me because it's so revered in the football program. Just to see
that's
it on any
I didn't even think about that.
On any orange Illinois jersey, it's going to be take a little getting used to. And then finally, the two true freshmen from the U.S. recruiting class, Brandon Lee and Keaton and Wagler.
I believe it's Wagler.
Yes. Wagler was the one that was really gaining some steam heading into the preseason here, but it was Brandon Lee that led the team in scoring in the Illinois State game. I think they both shown that they can hold their own a little bit. I don't expect them to lead the team in scoring at any point this season, but I think they're two freshmen that can get in there and mix it up a little bit and give some minutes here and there.
Yeah, I think Brandon Lee's points came in the last few minutes when the game was well out of hand. But they were really talking up Keaton Wagler all offseason, especially with Petrovic as I said, as a late arrival and injuries and all these things. Wagler's been the talk of the town. I think to the point where he will be starting on Monday next to Kylan. I think that after you lose Ty Rogers, you needed the depth. It had to come from somewhere. And the fact that at least one of them have emerged as a more than a passable role player, at least from what we have seen and heard, is an excellent sign. I don't think, at least nobody that was that close to the program expected either of them to be huge impact players out the gate. But again, you're kind of forcing yourself into the situation where one of them really has to be that type of role. So if Keaton Wagler can be a valuable, starting piece, one of your 3 or 4 main guards, and then if Brandon Lee can compete for that 9th spot with him and Jake Davis, basically that's how it's going to shake out right now. I think you have to be happy with that. This is an old and experienced team, as I've talked about a lot. So you don't need all-American freshmen to carry this team like you had to have last year. Your freshmen can be role players. If Keaton Wagler is able to go off for 15 points in a game, great. I love it. But you don't need that. You don't need it. In the past, you were relying on that. Last year's team, you were relying on a freshman point guard and 2 first-round draft picks and Tomislav Ivicic and all these players that had never played college basketball before, let alone wore an Illinois jersey. So I like that the freshmen are going to be valuable pieces, but they're not going to be relied upon to carry the team. That just makes me feel so much better.
Yep. I'm so much more comfortable with this roster makeup than with relying on 18 and 19-year-olds for sure.
Yep.
Okay, Logan. Brad Underwood has taken a sudden leave of absence. He's assigned Logan Lee as the interim head coach. Who is your starting five to start the season?
I mean, knowing what I know, which is not a lot.
About basketball or just in general?
In general. No, I mean, I think I would start Kylan Boswell, Keaton Wagler, Andrei Stojakovic, Ben Hummerkaus, Tomislav Ivicic. I like the idea of Petrovic and Mirkovic coming off the bench. I think Mirkovic will end up playing more minutes than Ben Hummerkaus does. But as far as who I want in my starting lineup, give me the experience guys.
Is any of your answer there based on injury, or you would start Wagler over Petrovic anyways?
That's based on the injury and the fact that they haven't played together.
Okay, let's act fully healthy. Everyone's 100% healthy. This roster's fully intact. Who's your starting five?
Oh, Petrovic. Well, probably.
Petrovic.
Again, I don't actually know. Never seen the kid play. But true. If he's the MVP candidate from the Adriatic League that everybody says he is, and he's a point guard, yeah, I want him starting over Keaton Wagler probably. But
so you would go Petrovic, Boswell, Stojakovic, Hummerkaus, Tommy.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, that's what mine is too.
Yeah.
I replied to a Sleepers tweet after the Illinois State exhibition. Did you see that?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe not.
They tweeted after that game, overreaction or valid? Should David Mirkovic be penciled in as a starter for Illinois after his dominant exhibition performance? I said overreaction. I'm not starting him over Hummerkaus or Tommy. And you're not going to start either of those at the three. You're not going to start any of them at the three when you got Stojakovic there. And more replies than not were like, there's no way he has to be a starter. And I'm just like, have you guys paid attention to Brad Underwood at all in his first 6 years?
No. And so
Hummerkaus is going to start. I mean, he might not end the season as a starter, but to start the season, Hummerkaus is going to be at the 4. Tommy's going to be at the 5.
A couple things. One, I think, yeah, you're right. That's typically how this goes. Will Riley did not start until February or whatever it was, and he was one of the 4 best players on the team. As I said, I like the experience. Ben Hummerkaus, as much as he struggled at times last year, did start for 75% of the season. Also, I think that it's a situational and lineup situation to deal with. Just like how I said Tomislav and Big Z probably aren't going to play together a ton. I like the idea of Tomislav and Mirkovic on 2 different lineups. Because I think they are both the type of players that you're going to run offense through. They're going to play very similarly. No, they're different players, and I understand that. But I love the idea of having, again, I know this is not how it works out. I understand that you're really playing about 8 guys, maybe 9, 10 deep for the first few weeks of the season. But if I'm playing it in hockey lines, I want Hummerkaus and Tommy on the floor at the same time, and I want Z and Mirkovic on the floor at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Now, that's not how it works, and I know they will play together and all those things. I understand that, but I think to start the season, Ben Hummerkaus will be the starting 4. And the only thing that maybe shifts all this is if he starts both of them instead of Wagler. That I wouldn't be shocked by that either if he just goes with Andre at the 2. I could maybe see that happening, honestly.
I'm not sure Andre plays Monday.
Well, that could be true too. So that's obviously possible. But
yeah, but we're talking health here. Everyone healthy. Yeah, I got you. I think I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. Surprise, surprise. We never disagree on
We're terrible at this.
This is awful. This is no first take here. This is like last take. So let's look at the schedule a little bit. You got Jackson State, Florida Gulf Coast, Texas Tech at home, Colgate at home. Then you go semi-home at the UC United Center for Alabama, LIU Long Island at home, UT Grand Valley at home, and then a couple huge games late November, early December. One is at Madison Square Garden against UConn. The other's in Nashville against Tennessee. Then you got your two Big Tens, Ohio State and Nebraska, and then a couple more non-conference, Missouri and Southern, Missouri and Southern, and then you get into Big Ten play. So they posed this question down here on Sports Talk Radio, and I'm going to reframe it a little bit and ask you. The Big Ten football championship is December 6th. After that day, who has more losses, Illinois football or Illinois basketball?
Okay, December 6th. So at that point, Illinois, what are they at now? 3 losses?
They're 3 losses. They've got 4 games left.
Who do they have left?
Championship. Football has Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, Northwestern.
So by December 6th
is the same day that Illinois plays Tennessee in Nashville. So the same day as the Big Ten Championship, Illinois basketball plays Tennessee. They will have already played Connecticut, Alabama, and Texas Tech.
Basketball will have less losses. I think football probably loses one more game. I just think it's likely. I mean, I'm not saying they will for sure, but I'd say they probably get to 4. Illinois, I mean, you're that run of you have Texas Tech, Alabama. I mean, there's I have more confidence.
2 losses there, maybe 3.
Well, yeah.
I don't think football loses another game, so I think they go 9-3. So it's a matter of if basketball has 3 losses or not, at least for me.
Depends on who's running the defense. I'll still say basketball has less losses.
Okay.
But
That's fair.
It might be close.
So as looking at the schedule overall, what are you thinking for like non-conference total? Do you have any predictions for this?
I love the schedule
season or this season.
I love the schedule. I hate it for programs like Illinois State. I hate it for programs like Southern Illinois, because those schools can't really catch a break when it comes to their scheduling. But as far as Illinois is concerned, I love it. I think that Texas Tech game is going to be one heck of a night.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I love that they got that scheduled. I would love to go to Lubbock for the return. I have a buddy that lives down in the area. Went to Texas Tech. I would love to go to that return game, but there's no way.
I mean, I'll just say this. I'm excited about Illinois basketball this year. I love the retention. I love what they have. But I really have no gauge. It's weird.
There's so many unknowns. Like there's so many
unknowns.
These international guys, you just never know. I think they hit more than they miss, but you just don't know.
You don't know. I talked about this a lot last year, where I compared last year and this year to Terrence's 2 years, where the first year was a lot of new guys, trying to figure out freshman point guards, trying to figure out who does what's everybody's role. Then your second year, you have, not that Kylan is an All-American candidate, but you have Kylan is kind of the Terrence in this situation. Like I just kind of compared the last season and this season to those 2 years. But I think going into that season, I think I knew a little bit more than I do right now. And I think, as you said, I think that is just because of the unknowns. I love the pair. I love having Kylan and Tommy back. I think that'll be great. I love the addition of Stojakovic. I love the idea of the international guys, but I just don't know yet. I know they're 17th in the AP, and I know the analytics love them and all these things, and I hope that's true. they could. What do they play? 5 or 6 games against.
They play 5 Power 5 or high major teams.
Honestly, Craig, they could win 3 of them or they could lose 5 of them, and it wouldn't surprise me either way. I just don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. There's part of me that thinks it's more likely that they lose 5 of them than that they win
5.
Well, yeah, definitely win 5. But I just don't know, and I think that's
KenPom at the moment has losses against Connecticut and Tennessee.
Yeah, those are the 2 most likely for sure. I mean, Texas Tech is at home. Alabama's pseudo home.
They're down, and they're down. They're not as good as they have been.
No, but it's
and Missouri is Missouri. It's always going to be a game, no matter if they're terrible or if they're good. That game's always more likely than not. That's always going to be close. So KenPom has them going 3-2, which I will take every day of the week.
I would have to. I'm just going to assume that Andrei Stojakovic is playing by November 11th.
Yeah, I would hope.
If he's not, then I don't think there's any chance. But yeah, if he's healthy and he's playing this, if the whole team is playing and everything else, I think they can. I think they can win both those games, Texas Tech and Alabama. So
yeah. A couple more things here, basketball related. We've already been going for 55-ish minutes. What do you think of the Big Ten this year? I mean, everyone seems to think it's Purdue or bust. Are they good? Yeah. But what did they add? I feel like everyone around them added.
They added
Purdue did not add anything.
They added an international
South Dakota guy or something. South Dakota State kid.
I don't know.
Is that right?
They added somebody. Did they need to add?
I don't know. Everyone else
They were pretty good last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm going to go with the All-American point guard and the pretty much All-American forward. I mean, I like, as I said, I just kind of like having that experience. I mean, do I think it's possible that somebody like Michigan or UCLA or Illinois ends up being a game or 2 better than Purdue by the end? I think it's possible, but at this point, I would still take Purdue. Because you have Braden Smith he's the best point guard in college basketball. And when you have the best point guard in college basketball and a forward that is also one of the best 15, 20 players in college basketball, that's a pretty good place to start. Yeah, I mean, no, they didn't make any huge additions in the transfer portal. But when you have those players, do you have to? You know, I know other teams did. Illinois did, but Illinois also lost 2 first-round draft picks, so they have to fill those spots. I mean, Zach Edey was 2 years ago. So, I don't know. I mean, do I think they're going to win the national title? No, I wouldn't think so. But I think that they're probably still the favorite to win the Big Ten.
So, Purdue had 3 guys average more than 30 minutes a game last year, and all 3 are back.
Yeah,
Smith, Lawyer, Kaufman, Wren. CJ Cox is also back, I believe. So they just filled in some role pieces, and I think the guy you're thinking of is Oscar Clough.
Yes.
He spent last year at South Dakota State. Year before was at Washington State. He's from Australia. He averaged 17 points per game last year. So that's a good add for them. And they also have Daniel Jacobson, who got hurt, I believe, like the first or second game last year. He's 7'4", in the middle, 7'4", 250. So, yeah, I think they're the favorite. Obviously, the sports books agree. They're plus 175 to win the Big Ten.
It's Omer Mayer. It's the kid from Israel.
That's
the international piece that people
freshman from Israel.
Yeah, he's the one. That's the guy.
Yep. So they added those 2. So yeah, that's contributions there. Michigan's second at plus 470, UCLA's third at plus 600, and Illinois is fourth at plus 750. Everyone else is plus 1,000 or more. Ohio State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, USC, Oregon, Iowa, Indiana. So that's the way the Big Ten's looking. What are Illinois' national championship odds? Purdue's also the favorite to win the national championship, plus 900. Louisville, plus 2,000. And Illinois, plus 2,000 as well, which that has changed. Just last week, Illinois was plus 3,500. So Illinois' odds for the Natty are improving. Last thing, basketball, I wanted to talk to you about was the whole G League movement that's happening.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So Louisville got to commit. Was it last week? Early last week, maybe?
Yeah, it was last week.
Got to commit last week from a kid from the high school class of 2022, I believe, that has spent the last 3 years in the G League. The first two were with the G League Ignite, which were created as kind of a prep school-ish type thing, but not school, just in the G League. And then last year he spent time with actually affiliated G League teams. And now he is going back to college. A lot of discourse about this from coaches, media, fans, everyone. I was more so confused about how the logistics of it worked. After seeing it, I understand. Do I agree with it? No. But by the rules, he has not done anything wrong because of two factors. One, he is within 5 years of graduating high school. And two, he never went through the draft process.
Yes.
Now, did he get paid? Yes, but so are these college players. And that was Brad Underwood's point, was that, that there needs to be, or I believe there is a threshold about how much you've made or how much you can make. He even mentioned that in his interview with WCIA, even Tommy had to pay some money back because he had accepted money. I think there's going to be some rule changes because there's been so much outcry that this is not going to be allowed for very long. What do you say? I know you were the first to respond to me in my tweet, which I totally understand. There is no difference to me, really. But we just hadn't seen it, so it kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah.
So what do you think now that the dust is kind of settled and more, and you're seeing every day, you're seeing X G League player or this G League player is looking to come to college now, and everyone's reaction is the same, like, oh my God, make it stop. Are you the same way? Do you think this is okay? What are your
no, I don't think it's okay, but I also don't think it's against the rules right now, because
that was okay. Go ahead.
No, that's the problem. We have the NCAA, who, love them or hate them, they continue to lose at every turn. And some of it's like, and I don't mean lose in the sense like they make the wrong choice, lose in the sense like they lose in court, because that's where we're at now. The rules are just different. The world is just different. What?
Georgetown beat Kentucky tonight.
Oh, wonderful. They're back. Hoyas are back. So I was listening to, I think it was probably a clip from Field of 68, and I think it might have been Robbie Hummel. Somebody made the comment. We live in a world now where if next year, this is not an original take. I think this came directly from Robbie Hummel. But if next year LeBron James says, I'm going to come play for Ohio State, he can. Legally, he can. Because he has not, he has to give up.
Got drafted. That's part of it. These guys didn't go through the NBA draft process.
Is that the rule, though?
Yeah. They did not enter their name into the NBA draft. If you've gone through the NBA draft or the process, you're ineligible.
Okay. Well, then never mind. Forget what I said. The point is, the rules are just different now. Do I think the rules need to change? Yeah, I do. But there's nothing against what they're doing. And again, to my point to you is like, it's no different than what Brad's doing with international players. And I get that why that, catches you off guard. But it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing that Brad's been doing. So, the G League is essentially the same thing as the Adriatic League and all these other things that, Tommy and all these guys have been playing in. So, I don't know. I don't love it. But again, we are no longer, the NCAA is no longer playing in the sandbox of amateur athletes. They're just not. These are professional athletes now. Granted, there has been money involved for a long time, but it's no longer a secret. These are not amateur athletes. So you're gonna find loopholes and things that you're gonna have to fix or you're going to run into this situation more often than you care to. So,
Yeah.
I
think the big first and biggest outcry I heard was Tom Izzo. He was the first one I saw kind of come out in an interview and be like, "This is bogus." I don't disagree with him.
No, I don't either.
Tweeted the video and said, the game has passed him by, and I do think it has. I think he's clearly on his way out. I don't think he'll be in the game much longer. But the reason I say that is that not only did he disagree with it, which I think a lot of people do, almost everyone agrees with him that this should not be happening. The disconnect there is that he doesn't know the rules.
Yeah.
Like, he came off like, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that." You're a Division I coach at one of the best programs in the country, and you didn't know about this.
Yeah.
I think that says more about the whole situation than anything.
Yeah. No, it's
and
true.
I'm sure he wasn't the only one, but most other coaches I've seen react to this have at least acknowledged, like, that could happen, but it shouldn't. Like, we need to get this straightened out. So it's an interesting spot. I don't think, like I said in the lead into this, I don't think it lasts much longer. I think there's going to have to be a rule put in that if you play in the G League that you're ineligible to come back to college. But for now, Louisville got a good player. He wasn't the first. There was one more.
But how do you do that?
I think it's if you play in the G League, that's the route you're taking.
Is it just the G League? Or is it all the other professional leagues? Is it every other professional basketball league? What makes the G League any different than any of these other leagues in Europe?
They won't be able to draw the if you made money off basketball card because these players in college are making money off of basketball.
Yeah, so, I don't. I mean, I agree something needs to change, but I don't know that you can just make it simple as like if you played in the G League. I don't.
Yeah.
Like the G League. Yeah. The reason the G League, and I listened to Izzo talk on Eisen's show the other day about this, and like the point he brought up was like the reason the G League really took off was because it was giving players an opportunity that didn't want to go to college. Yeah. Like that was the whole point of it. So that, they could make a little bit of money and forego the educational part of it, which college isn't for everyone. I understand that. Yeah. But you can't just say if you play in the G League, you're not eligible for it because that doesn't. There has to be another solution, and ultimately, it's going to probably end up being like nobody that's played professionally somehow. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. But yeah, I agree. It's not ideal, but it's just the world we live in.
Okay, finally, I'm going to put you on the spot. National championship pick. Go.
We're still talking about basketball?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh goodness. I wasn't prepared for this. I will go Purdue. They won't win it, but I'll just say Purdue. And I don't even know who's on the roster, but I'll say Houston. Just because Kelvin Sampson seems to always put something together. They're not being talked about a lot. They don't have the stud freshman and all these other things that everybody else has, but I don't know. I'll go Houston, Purdue.
Yeah. Okay.
How about you?
I'm going to dip back into Connecticut, dip back into UConn, and
Houston's number one in KenPom.
Yeah. Who knew? Since you took Houston and Purdue, I'll take number 2 in KenPom. I'll take Florida.
I wasn't even looking at it when I said that. I'll be totally honest. Yeah. I literally just pulled it up right now.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to football. Just real quick. We're already an hour plus into this. Illinois sits at 5-3. They've dropped out of the rankings. I think they're like technically 28th. How has this season gone for you? Have you been able to watch much? I know you've been kind of busy on weekends.
Yeah.
Are you still watching it the same? Are you watching it more intently? Are you how do you feel about these first 8 games?
I was watching it more intently as long as I could. But no, as you said, my Saturdays have been a little crazy. I had, fairly high expectations, just as everybody else did. The Indiana game really did a number on me. And then you have the USC game. You think, all right, well, maybe we bounce back and all these things.
Stop
and then
spinning whenever you're spinning.
Oh, this thing. Sorry. And then the Ohio State game comes, and it's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
It was the Washington game. That was
Saturday.
Yeah, that was the deal breaker for me. I don't know. I mean, it's the offense.
You seem frustrated.
I don't even know what you're saying now. So just keep talking because I'm a mess.
Logan lost his headphones.
Lost my headphones.
I said you sound frustrated. You said you don't care, but you sound frustrated.
I'm annoyed. And it's not that I was living and dying with Illinois football, but I wanted a little bit more. And now that I'm looking back on it, I'm thinking like, well, maybe I should have realized that there wasn't quite enough there.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Luke Altmaier.
Yeah.
Be honest.
You're repeating a lot of what I've seen online this week.
And I really haven't been following that discourse. So like, this is kind of just me coming up with things on my own. I feel bad for him because like, obviously he had an opportunity to go somewhere else, and not that he would have had, a better team somewhere else, but like maybe. And totally. This team has just not gotten there. If they would have gone through the whole season with their 2 losses being blownouts to the number 1 and the number 2 team in the country,
100%.
All right, cool. And not that Washington's bad, but your defense just got torn apart, and it's just frustrating. So, no, if they don't lose another game, they finish, with 3 losses, playing a, high level bowl game, whatever that means anymore. I don't really care. Great. Good for them. Continuing on, building, and it'll stop. Well, I hope it'll be a more successful season than some of the ones we've had in the past. But yeah, I think that's my biggest thing is the defense is frustrating, and I feel bad for Luke.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, that's a lot of what I saw online this week. Record wise, obviously we didn't do a show, so I didn't put any prediction out there. This is exactly where I thought they would be. They've lost to who I thought they would lose to. I thought you would either lose to Indiana on the road or USC at home. So you got through there. I thought they were losing to Ohio State, and I thought they would lose at Washington. So they're sitting exactly where I thought they were. I said earlier in the show, I think they're going to run the table going in. Just because I know this. I know Bielema is going to have them. Under Bielema, they have rarely lost games they're not supposed to lose. He doesn't really have clunkers.
No.
And these last 4 games are against inferior opponents. So I'm confident that they'll figure it out. They'll go 9-3, which is the same regular season record they had last year. They went to a very good bowl last year. I'm sure it will be the same nice weather Florida Bowl, pretty prestigious. But it's obviously not going to be the college football playoff, which I think they all had their sights set on. But it's what I said Saturday as well. At this point, you can't bring Aaron Henry back. You've tried it. You gave him his shot. It is not working. Yeah. It is just not working. And I know he lost his best defensive back, Xavier Scott out for the year. But this just some of the schemes, and I don't know if anyone here watches Jay Lehman's breakdowns with Jeremy. What Jeremy has done with Illini Inquirer, it just blows everyone else out of the water. Coming down here to Louisville and seeing their coverage, it's like every college needs a Illini Inquirer because their stuff is great. But Lehman was like freaking out about some of the stuff that they were dialing up on, especially third downs. Like, what are we doing here? So yeah, Aaron Henry's got to go. But as far as the season goes, I think overall it's been fun to watch. It's nice to be in contention and be talked about and hear your name on game day every once in a while. And hosting Big Noon Kickoff twice in the span of 3 weeks is incredible for this football program. And it's exactly, I think, what people thought Bielema would do. When they hired him, I think we both said if he can consistently win 8 games, they'll build a statue of him after 10 years, and he's well on his way. So So yeah, as far as Illinois football, I don't know there's anything else that we can add. They're kind of in the fourth quarter of their season almost. They're 5-3 out of Big Ten, out of playoff contention. So we'll just enjoy the last couple weeks and focus on basketball as they push for a deep postseason run there. Anything else from you on football?
Yeah.
Illinois specific. We're not to the national stuff yet.
Yes. I think we're to the point now where Brett Bielema has brought Illinois back to relevancy. They're not obviously competing for national titles. They're not even really competing for Big Ten titles. But I think they're to the point now where he can go to Josh Whitman and say, I need to make a big play here and bring in a real experienced defensive coordinator. We need the money. We need the funds. We need it. So I think if you have that, I think you might be looking at a different situation. And if your plan is to, now that you've seen what Indiana can do, this is Indiana we're talking about. I think that's what happens. I think they're probably already having those discussions now. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of coaching carousel stuff going on in the next few weeks. But it will not shock me at all. And I'm not going to sit here and say like I know who these names are. I don't. But like Illinois is going to make a splash as a defensive coordinator. They're going to find somebody there. It's not going to be some up and coming person. Like they want somebody that can really come out and run the defense and take them to the level that they want to be at. Because right now they're just not there. But I think they're on the cusp of it to the point now where they can make that happen. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I don't. Neither of us know the coordinator world.
No.
So I don't have any idea where they would go unless you get a flamed out head coach. Like if a Luke Fickell does end up getting fired at Wisconsin, bring him on all day, every day. Bring him on as defensive coordinator. Hell, pull Ryan Walters back. I don't care. Just get someone not Aaron Henry that has some D coordinator experience. Nationally, this coaching carousel is like college football 26 level stuff. Florida, LSU, Penn State, Virginia Tech, UCLA,
Stanford,
rumors of Auburn, Florida State, Wisconsin,
Michigan State.
I mean, there are so many openings. And honestly, I don't think there are enough current head coaches to go around to fill all these spots with a better option.
No.
First of all, and I think about this nearly every day, if I'm being honest, especially when there's a firing. What are the top 3 available jobs? Top 5. What are the top 5 available jobs in order?
Right now?
Yeah.
LSU.
Okay.
I'll go Florida and then Penn State and then Arkansas and then Virginia Tech. Is that an opening?
Okay. Yeah, Virginia Tech's opening. Yeah.
Okay. Is that might be, I don't know. The top 4 for me are obvious. I don't know. I know what the 5th one is, but
okay.
Why did you ask?
I must be in the minority because I see Florida as a better job than LSU. I see Florida as the number 1 job.
Why?
I don't know if it's because of the Tebow era and the Urban Meyer era, but I just think you're already in one of the most talent-rich states right there. You've got the resources.
Maybe I've just listened to a lot of Andy Staples and other people talk about this stuff lately, but yeah, I mean, LSU to me is the better job. I mean, I understand the whole relevancy, but like the points that I've been hearing from other people, like, you know, kind of makes sense to me as to why it would be LSU, but like in my mind, it's LSU. I don't know.
Yeah. The Athletic did this article 4 days ago. Chris Vanini.
Yes.
October 27th. He has LSU 1, Penn State 2, Florida 3, Arkansas 4, UCLA 5, Oklahoma State 6, which we didn't mention, Virginia Tech 7, Stanford 8, Oregon State 9, Colorado State, UAB. Yeah.
The points that I think is Andy Staples has made is the thing that Louisiana has that very few states in the country also have is that there's really only one school competing for those players.
It's
If you
true.
are a 5-star, 4-star prospect from the state of Louisiana, you go to LSU.
It's true.
Yes, Florida is a talent-rich state, but there's also 2 other major programs in that state that you are also pulling players from. And the other point that he's made is that, and it's funny that he says it, but like the 3 of the last 4 coaches at LSU have all won a national championship, and only one of them is probably a Hall of Fame coach. Whereas however many coaches at Florida have won it, and the 2 of them are both Hall of Fame coaches. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know what it matters, but
That's
I would
true.
still put LSU over Florida. I think the debate is Florida or Penn State, in my opinion, but I think it's still Florida over Penn State.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I believe I just saw Matt Rule is signed an extension or has agreed
Correct.
to an extension, so he's out at
Yes.
Penn State.
Yes.
There seems to be some chatter of Jeff Brom going to Penn State. I don't think Brom leaves Louisville.
No.
The question is, does Lane Kiffin jump for any of these? What say you?
I think that they're going to make a good. Well, first off, did you see that LSU is getting rid of their AD? Did you see all that stuff?
No, is that new?
Yes. So that happened. Like I saw that tweet literally minutes before we started.
Really?
Did you see the stuff yesterday? Are you caught up on the
with
LSU
governor?
drama?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, the governor came out and said that Scott Woodward or whatever his name is will not be making this hire. And now, 1 hour ago, Pete Thamel, LSU and AD Scott Woodward are expected to separate in the near future. So I don't know what's going on there. They need a president. They also need an AD now and a head coach. Ultimately, I would not be surprised if Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss. I think that they are going to be able to pony up the money. And yes, you can certainly make an argument that LSU and Florida are better jobs. But I think at the end of the day, he's built something pretty good there. And I think he's to the point now where he can compete. It's a different landscape now.
Yeah.
There's a 12-team playoff. And
I mean, look at Indiana.
4 years from now, it could be a 16 or a 2014 playoff. So he's got Ole Miss. What are they, 6th in the country now? Like they're going to make the playoff. And once you're there, you have a good chance. Like, is the ceiling higher at a Florida or an LSU than Ole Miss? Yeah, probably. But I don't know that it's that much of a better job if the money is going to be pretty equal. Yeah. Now we'll see what ends up happening, but I think he stays.
Okay.
I think he stays.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I wouldn't be surprised because the pressure at Ole Miss is so much less than
right.
And he's been through it before. He did the whole Tennessee thing, USC thing. Yeah. He knows what it's like at those blue blood football programs. I guess, is that a thing?
And
blue chip football program.
Well, yeah, and football mostly they're red. Yeah. The other thing too about the governor is like the comment he made yesterday was, we're not gonna just go after the biggest name. Like I don't know, and I don't know what's going to happen, but like I don't know. There's just something that tells me Lane actually ends up staying.
Yeah. I don't think jobs are done though. I think all of them will open. I don't think Florida State will. Rumor has it Wisconsin's not going to, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But we'll see. We will see. Is there anything else you want to jump in with football?
Penn State.
Yeah, I heard you got some scoops.
Scoops.
Yeah,
Craig. You listen to this. I was out on a walk earlier, and a plane flew above me. And it's not uncommon. South Bend's not a huge town, but like we have an airport, whatever. And I like to fly. I like to track flights. I like to see, that's the Delta flight coming in from Atlanta. Well, I look up, and it's not a normal commercial flight. It's a private plane. Like, that's interesting. Not uncommon here, especially football weekends, but I don't think it's a Notre Dame football weekend. If it is, I don't know who they're playing. It doesn't really matter. So I, as I'm out on my walk, just casually pull out my phone. Let's just see where this flight's coming from. State College, Pennsylvania. I don't know nothing about nothing. I don't know nothing. And I cannot honestly think of a scenario in which the AD at Penn State, I believe his name is Pat Kraft, would be coming to Notre Dame. I'm just saying. I don't know. I only know what I know. And what I know is that flight was coming from State College, Pennsylvania to South Bend, Indiana.
Did you look up the tail fin number and see who it's registered to?
I tried, but I couldn't. I don't know that. I don't know enough about that stuff. All I could find is where it came from. So, I don't know.
That's interesting. Who would he be talking to there?
I don't know. Maybe the hockey coach. I don't know.
Could be the hockey coach. Yeah, could be the hockey coach.
Yeah. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. But no, I don't envision a scenario in which Marcus Freeman goes to Penn State. I think Marcus Freeman stays in Notre Dame.
What is the airport in South Bend? Now I'm
SBN.
SBN.
I don't think Marcus Freeman leaves Notre Dame unless it's for Ohio State. That's my guess. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that it happened to be coming from State College, Pennsylvania, in the middle of all of this. So
yeah. Huh. Okay. Is it Ohio State's year to repeat? Do you see them repeating?
Yeah, I think it's them or the field. I still don't buy Indiana. I guess maybe that's naive of me. But I don't know. Yeah, I would still say it's Ohio State's year. A lot of things can happen in a 12-team playoff, and we still have a few more weeks left in the season. So,
yeah.
But they'll run the table in the Big Ten. They'll beat Michigan. They'll beat Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, and then they'll. I would assume it's Ohio State's to lose.
Yeah, probably agree. Anything else football related you would like to discuss?
No, sir.
Okay. Anything else at all you would like to discuss? Have you watched the World Series? How good is Shohei?
I have watched a lot of baseball, but not all of baseball. I did not stay up for all 18 innings. I will tell you that much. Shohei Ohtani is an incredible specimen. This is the conversation I had with my father a couple weeks ago. It's very impressive what Shohei Ohtani is doing. Incredibly impressive. But we continue to refer to him as the greatest ever because of what he's doing. And I'm not here to poo-poo what Shohei Ohtani's doing. But is he the greatest to ever do it if we've never let anybody else try? That's all I'll say. We've never let it. We have never let anybody even try to do what he's doing. Just because it's the unwritten rules of baseball that you can't do both of those things. I'm not trying to say he's not the greatest, because he certainly is. But will we ever actually know? No. Because since
no one else,
the 1920s, nobody has ever done it. They haven't let him. The only reason Shohei did it was because he made the smart move to stay in Japan, let his Japan team let him do it. And then when he had the leverage when he came to the States. So it's incredibly impressive what he's doing all season long, and then to do it in the playoffs, in the World Series, all the home runs, the pitching. It's incredibly impressive. He's obviously the greatest baseball player you or I will likely ever see.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we really know if we've never let anybody else even try?
It's true. It's a good thought. It's a good thought.
That's my baseball take.
I was telling Christy the other night when he hit 3 home runs and had 10 Ks on the mound. I think I said it. I said for the first time, I was like, he is the best ever.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt. Best of our lifetime for sure, and he's really putting a stamp on that, potentially being best ever. I thought of something when you mentioned your dad, football related.
The belt.
What did he think about the MacGuffin?
I haven't talked to him. My parents were in London for 10 days. So we were
from London.
Yeah, exactly. That when they got back, that was the first thing I sent. So we've been on a different time and they just got home. I have talked to him today very briefly in regards to my grandmother's internet, but I have not talked to them really much
Your
at all.
has internet. My grandma does not have internet.
Yeah. She didn't for a while because that's a long story. But no, I have not talked to him about the belt or about anything really.
You know who has the belt?
Louisville?
Yeah. It's right down the street.
Yeah, you should go find it. Go get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will be sure to talk to Tim about it this weekend. He'll probably listen to this show by the time I'm there to talk to him. But Tim, just know that we're gonna have a conversation about the MacGuffin because Craig thinks he should be offended.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
I don't have anything else. It's been an hour and a half. I think I expected this one to be a little bit longer. We could keep going if we wanted to, but
we could.
I don't think anyone wants to hear us talk for any longer unless you've got something really good to say.
I probably do, but nah, at this point, I should probably, seed my floor.
We didn't talk really at all about Big Brother. We didn't text about it this year. I thought the season was terrible. So I didn't care about it.
I saw some of your takes on Twitter.
I don't know if I'm just like a new fan, so I don't understand it still, but I did not care for it.
Okay, there are a couple things I will say in regards to your particular viewing of Big Brother.
I don't even remember what I said, to be completely honest.
I'm going to guess you absolutely hated Rachel Riley.
I did not know who she was until this season.
Okay, but that's my point.
I hated her.
Exactly.
Her, yes.
And I'm going to guess that you thought that it was a terrible season because of who won.
No, I just didn't. I didn't care for the cast. I don't think they had any.
It was.
It didn't draw me. I just kind of watched it out of routine and having something to watch.
Sure. I don't think this was a particularly strong cast. I don't disagree with you there. I think they got too many people that had no idea what was going on, and that lasted for too long. Rachel Riley is a reality show villain for a reason. And the biggest thing, I've had this conversation with a few other people that are fairly new to the show. The game is very different now from what it used to be. Yeah, they lean so much into physical competitions than they used to. Like it is the physical comp beasts run these games up until the very end. That's just not how it used to be. And there's a few other things that have changed too. Not that Rachel Riley was a nicer person, because she wasn't. That's the role she played. But the game is just very different than it used to be. I didn't particularly care for. I didn't hate the season. I found the season to be entertaining, largely because there were people that I felt were running the house, but not blatantly enough that it like really took away from it for me. But I don't think it was a particularly strong cast. In regards to Ashley winning, I have not been really following the live feeds on that show for several years, but I do at least watch some of the shows, the podcasts, and that type of stuff. The people that do. Ashley did more than she then got shown.
They showed, yeah.
And it was largely because it's one of those things where she's doing a lot of small things that the producers will look at and think that's not important enough to show. But when you add it all up, she really was doing a lot more. It also helped her that Vince really fell off and choked at the end. And then, she obviously knew how to give a speech. So, it certainly was not my favorite season. Wasn't really anywhere close to my favorite season, but I didn't despise it like I have heard from other people. You're not the first. Yeah. So,
I think my thing with Rachel, was her name Rachel?
Yeah. She's a bitch. Yeah. That's who she is. That's the role she plays.
I didn't understand why she was there. I think they tried to force some chaos into the house.
Yeah.
And it didn't work because the non-Rachel cast members, everyone else, were too scared to cause chaos.
Sure. Yeah, they absolutely
there
were.
was really no drama other
Yeah.
than Vince and Morgan's relationship, not relationship,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true.
Did they hook up? Did they not hook up? Like that was like
Yeah.
the whole thing. I just didn't think there was a lot of
No.
chaos going on.
There wasn't. And
I liked the theme though. Like I thought there was potential there with
Yeah.
some of the stuff that the show tried to do. Just the cast members didn't take the bait, and everyone, and it's been like this for a few seasons. Well, I don't want to vote against the House. So like even if you have a strong take and you want to vote someone out, if you feel like you're going to be in the minority, you just switch your vote because you don't want to be on the bottom next week. So
and
yeah.
you know the word or phrase that we didn't hear much this year was backdoor.
Yeah.
That has been such a huge part. I think a lot of that is because of the three nominees. I think
three nominees and
the third nominee. The third nominee and the blockbuster make it a little more tricky.
Yeah.
So, and I think they were also like, Vince did a YouTube thing where he talked about, he's like, I won HOH a lot, and every week I had to nominate 3 people.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times you have to nominate a 4th. And, it's like, it's just a lot. You're putting a lot of people up there. And, but yeah, I didn't hate this season, but it certainly wasn't anywhere close to my favorite. So. Yeah. I don't know that I have anything else. I haven't really done much this summer. You're the one that went to all the places and did all the things, which I do want to talk to you about at some point, but we don't need to do that here. But yeah, no, I'm excited that we.
Are you talking about the Sphere?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Sphere,
awesome,
not
dude.
the Sphere.
Oh yeah, talking about Sphere. It was awesome, dude.
I would love to. We'll talk offline about that.
Yeah. But if any listeners or viewers are here and you have the chance to go, oh my God. Like everyone has kind of mentioned it to us, and I'm not going to go on for a long tangent here, but I'll just say it like this. Everyone told us how awesome it was. It even blew that out of the water. And people told us this, and it does ring true. It has now ruined every other concert.
Oh, I'm sure.
For us. Like
I'm sure
any future concert we go to we will think sucked because of that concert. It was awesome.
I'm sure.
If you don't follow me, we went to see the Backstreet Boys at Sphere, back in July, and it was just incredible. Yeah. So we can talk more about that later.
Yeah.
All right,
but yeah, that's all I got.
I've got a dog I think that needs some dinner or something, and I got to get this edited and put up. So if you don't have anything else, I think that's all from us. Thanks for tuning in to our reunion show. Is this a reunion show?
We
back show. And like I said, if you're still here, thank you. But like I said at the beginning, we don't have a schedule this year. We're just going to fly by the seat and see what happens. We're going to try and do as much as we can, but both of us have very hectic lives at the moment. So can't make any guarantees, but we'll do our best as we get into this basketball season. So,
I didn't even talk about the Comets, Craig.
Go Oakwood.
Oakwood. Playoffs, baby. Hosting a playoff game Saturday. Let's go.
Do they have the capacity to host a playoff game?
Well, let's be honest.
Yeah, good luck, Oakwood.
I don't know how many
good
people
luck,
are coming
Coach
up from Carrollton anyway, but
yeah, good luck, Coach Lee. Hell of a turnaround there in Oakwood. We'll be rooting for you from Kentucky. Is there a live stream? Can I tune into the live stream? Can you FaceTime
Probably.
me?
Sure. Yes. I'd be happy to. Yeah.
All right.
Excited to be there.
Yeah. Good luck to the Comets. Illinois. Actually, we didn't even mention this. Illinois football plays Saturday, noon Eastern against Rutgers. I don't even know what it's on. Big Ten Network.
It's actually on NBC.
No, NBC. Yeah.
It's actually on NBC. I do know that.
Yeah. So that's the game this weekend. And then you got high school football playoffs and all that good stuff. So good luck to everyone this weekend. Stay safe for the holidays. And
happy Halloween.
Yeah. And we will see you next time. Don't know what it is, but we'll see you then.
Happy Halloween. Bye. Go Comets.